Have you heard of Pride? What have you heard about it? Do you know how it began? In the US? LGBTQ plus people have long been the targets of police harassment and violence. Until 1969, it was illegal to be LGBTQ plus in Canada. It's important to remember that even though it was against the law to be LGBTQ plus, queer people have always been in the territory we currently call Canada. Can you imagine what it might have felt like to a queer person when it was still illegal? Aside from laws, how else have LGBTQ plus people been discriminated against? In schools? In society? Have you heard of the Stonewall riots in New York in 1969? The Stonewall riots began when police violently arrested customers at an LGBTQ plus bar called the Stonewall Inn. Fed up with being threatened, beaten, and harassed by the police, the LGBTQ plus community, led by Black and Latinx LGBTQ plus people, rose up and took to the streets to protest violence and harassment. A year later, in 1970, people marched in America's first gay pride parade, which was called Christopher Street Gay Liberation Day. This is how pride parades started in the US. What about Canada? Did you know that pride parades in Canada also began as a reaction to police violence and harassment? The first Canadian city to march against police harassment and violence was Montreal in the late 1970s, which led to anti-discrimination laws being introduced in Quebec. Toronto's Pride Parade began in 1981 following an incident of police violence against LGBTQ plus people. In New Brunswick, the first Pride Parade didn't occur until 1999. Moncton was the first city in the province to hold a Pride Parade. In 1995, the Moncton chapter of PFLAG, or Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, was established. The first gay bar in the city, the Triangles Bar and Club, also opened that year. However, leading up to 1999, members of the LGBTQ plus community had to travel far away to Halifax, Montreal, or Toronto to celebrate Pride Week. Greg DeBourne and Art Vautour Toole found a solution to that problem by organizing the first Pride Weekend in 2000. Throughout the years, many other people from the Moncton's LGBTQ plus community joined the organizing of Pride Week celebrations and other initiatives. More than 20 years later, the organization has grown significantly in size and mandate, in hopes of organizing and mobilizing for LGBTQ plus people's well-being. Other cities in New Brunswick, however, did not immediately follow Moncton's example. St. John and Fredericton did not have pride parades until the late 2000s. The city councils in both cities had voted for years against having a pride parade in the cities. In St. John, Pride was organized for the first time in 2003, shortly after a controversial speech by former mayor and progressive conservative MP Elsie Wayne. Wayne said, "Why do they have to be out here in public, always debating that they want to call it marriage?" In Fredericton, the first city-supported festival only occurred in 2010, and during that same year, a parade was held on a walking trail instead of in the streets. The first street pride parade didn't occur until 2012, even though LGBTQ plus community members had first asked for Pride Week's proclamation in 1992. The complaint was filed, but it wasn't launched until 1995, when the mayor refused to read the proclamation. Let's return to the question that we started with in this video. Aside from laws, how else have LGBTQ plus people been discriminated against? In schools? In society? And what can we do to change things?